Right. 14 August 2025. And today I want to quickly give you an update on all those key events and trending stories that are taking place. And then we'll be meeting each other later during the day. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with the events that are taking place today. Very important events are going to take place, including the burial of national hero Kuretu today at the National Heroes Acre. We also have the South African dialogue starting today. So the South African dialogue with 1,000 delegates is starting today, although certain key figures have pulled out, including President Thabo Mbeki has pulled out, and also AfriForum has pulled out. A lot of people have pulled out due to disagreements over the budget cut. So President Ramaphosa has cut the budget from about 1 billion to about 500 million. And this has made people unhappy because they want more money for the dialogue and they feel that that amount won't be enough, the 500 million rands. So I'll let you guys know. If I manage, I'll fly to Johannesburg and I'll be at the dialogue. But unfortunately, I don't know if it will be worth it since people are canceling. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Then the appeal for the late president of Zambia is to be heard tomorrow. So that is the application for leave to appeal. It's going to be heard tomorrow. If it's dismissed, it means Lungu's body will be immediately moved to Zambia. So tomorrow is a very important day. We have to see what happens over there. Then let's go into our top story. So this is very important. And this is Kuda Tagwirei once again showing his power. Kuda Tagwirei has appeared with the Air Force or members of the military at an expo, a career expo that was held this week. So these are members of the Air Force you are seeing here at SDA Harare. And the man you are seeing on the right with the cap is Vice Air Marshall Biltim Chingono. And he was traveling with Kuda Tagwirei. So Kuda Tagwirei is no longer considered a Chigananda. You can see he is moving around freely with members of the military. And that also includes Jacob Mafume. You can see Jacob Mafume right at the center there. And also Kuda Machakaire, Machakaire over there. Machakaire is over there. And who else is in this picture? I think basically these are the guys. But see who is standing right next to Tagwirei. Many people are surprised that Tagwirei is allowed to move around with members of the Air Force, but he's doing it. And Tagwirei is playing a big part in the SDA church. You can see he's deliberately standing away from people in the military. He knows what this means when you move around with members of the military and you're considered a corrupt person. So the Zimbabwe military is getting corrupted, basically. That is the message here. And part of the expo, there were no other companies except Kuda Tagwirei's companies. That is Sakunda, Fossil Contracting, and Starlink, the one that is working with Jivayo. So those are the only companies that were there. But clearly, Kuda Tagwirei has a big influence now on the military. He's allowed to campaign with them, and they don't consider him a Chigananda. That is the message that I could see from what Tagwirei was able to do this week. And remember, Tagwirei is moving around with Scott Sakupanya. Scott Sakupanya is the enforcer. The security of Tagwirei is being handled by Scott Sakupanya. Okay, now let's go to the second story. The second story is very sad. And this is the arrest of Maloti. So, Zimbabwean socialite Maloti is indeed a crazy person. Everyone knows it. She is mad as hell. And she does crazy stuff. However, she is just about to give birth. So she's going to be giving birth within the next 3 or so days. And I'm going to play for you a clip of why she was arrested. But the language is a bit coarse, so just be If you don't like coarse language, close your ears. That is Maloti here. She was arrested after an altercation with Passion Java, and she has been in jail for the past 3 years, 3 days, without trial. So she has not been tried.
Unoita mari like kuvaiba song yemunhu woposta video ndikati asana mbozviita bva nditaura ichimira nditaura nawo anoundudza kuti ndiani ndobva nditi ndavati 200 but vatanopa 100 vandati abo sende kungoti munhu aringoita sei aringoingwaya nditi mangwana makusame first thing equotation mangu makapinda $100 ndobva ndifonera zvikanzi isong ya silent killer kuti tsikids ndataura iti ndichaita video inini bva ndatoenda payoutube system yobeta ngatimboinzwe kasong yacho uzoivaiba uchita sei uchigona kuiimba uchikuitedzera chichi tataenda payoutube takunoona song yakanzi 3 weeks ago but ine 1 million views apa yanga itori number 7 on trending, and then I was like, what the fuck, kana song ikata 3 million in 1 million views in 3 weeks, it means the song iri kutotererwa. It's basically like it basically means the song is a hit. And it ndopa ndikaona kuti vakutengera ma views, because what's the point yekuti song itori 1 million views in 3 weeks monzi munotengera munobhadhara vanhu unokuita $100 uchipa Maloti kuti avaibe song kunge song isati yabuda kana kuti song isina ma views ida upushwa, it doesn't make sense kunzwisisa level re 1 million views per 3 weeks song yaspread yekuti maruzia iri kurira chaizvo asi yakareleaswa musi wa17 March yakapinda 1 million views.
Okay, so I like the topic, but I can't play it for long, so I'll give you guys the link. If you go to Maloti's Instagram, you will see that she has made wide-ranging allegations against Passion Java, which is buying views. That their songs are actually not popular. So you see their songs with 3 million, 5 million views, and they're buying views. That is one allegation. The second allegation she made is that Java is corrupting the musicians in Zimbabwe with his demands for them to sing music that doesn't make sense. And then thirdly, she said Java gives these young people cars, which then break down and they don't move. So she's been arrested for cyberbullying, and she's been sitting in jail for the past 3 days without charges. So she's not been charged. And I don't know how that is going to work, but she is pregnant, heavily pregnant, to give birth within the next 3 days. Otherwise, the child will die because they need to induce this baby, so that because there are complications. So I don't know what it is about, but someone needs to get her out because you don't arrest someone and keep them for 3 days for such a thing. I think this is a social media drama, but I guess she was told that she mustn't cross Passion Java. DJ Sparks had told her not to cross Passion Java, otherwise she'll be in deep trouble. And indeed, she is in deep trouble. Then let's go to Natalie Mandu. Natalie Mandu is free. She is a free woman. She was taken to court yesterday on allegations of witchcraft. However, on arrival, the court dismissed the case and said they will summon her if any new developments come. So prosecutors were not able to provide a video of Natalie Mandu performing the ritual. As you are aware, Natalie Mandu deleted the videos in the phone of her maid. So the maid was filming, but Natalie Mandu deleted the videos when the maid was leaving. So the phone has been taken to forensic investigators to retrieve the videos, and they failed to retrieve the videos. Zinatha, the Zimbabwe National Traditional Healers Association, has also refused to come to testify in court because you know that our people in Zinatha, they are allowed to do rituals. So rituals like giving you bad luck or removing you from the earth. People in Zinatha, there are certain people that are known that if you've got a problem and the problem is not going away, kujisa, when you don't want your wife to be with other guys, you do all that. Zinatha does it. It's in their constitution. So they cannot come to testify in court about Natalie Mandu's witchcraft, because witchcraft is actually a thing in Zinatha. They are allowed, according to Zimbabwean constitution, they are allowed to do some of those things that Natalie Mandu is doing. So if the lady who was working with Natalie is part of Zinatha, they cannot then go there and confess what they do. Zinatha is part of the guys who do witchcraft. Unfortunately, it's crazy. Varoi, vanhu ava. Just be careful, guys, out there. Young women in Zimbabwe, they will do anything for money and they will kill you. Okay, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Let's go to the accidents. Please be careful out there on the roads. There is massive deaths, and I've done a table for you. Over the past 5 years, the number of deaths has increased. So this week, 24 people have died. Heroes and Defense Forces is the biggest next to Easter. So 24 people have died, following the 16 who died last year, 15 in 2023, with the lowest number in 2022. That was during the lockdown. And 2021 was quite high. I don't know why. But you can clearly see that Zimbabwean roads are very dangerous and you could die. So be careful. Make sure your tires are checked. If you're going to be traveling this weekend, don't drive after 6. Most accidents after and after 6. Don't go into Mushika. So most time people have an accident and they've got the car at home. They've jumped into Mushika and they die and leave their car home. Get petrol, contribute with other people, plan in advance. So what I do for my travel, every month I put aside $100. In December, how much is 100 times 12? I've got $1,200. I can pay my petrol. I can drive anywhere I like. So don't be ready, not ready. $200 a month, keep that for 12 months. You can buy tires, your car will be top notch, and you won't have an accident. Okay, now let's go to Africa. We've got big stories today. As I said, South Africa is starting the dialogue to fix their nation. However, a big fight has broken out in the national military of South Africa. So the man that you're watching here is the top chief of the South African military. So let me read that again. The man you're watching here is the top military chief of the South African Army, General Ruzani Mapanya. General Ruzani Mapanya recently traveled to Iran and met top generals in Iran. And when he was in Iran, he was obviously given a medal and recognition. However, a conflict has broken out with the government of South Africa after he revealed that South Africa shares the same strategic objectives as Iran, and that his visit had political objectives. So this has angered DECO. We have issued a statement here, and they've said any statement made by individuals or departments other than those responsible for foreign policy should not be misinterpreted as the official position of the South African government. So this doesn't make sense to me because first and foremost, you've already visited Iran and the man is only doing his job. So I don't know why they're saying he did anything wrong. So Ruzani Mapanya only said what is correct, that South Africa and Iran are working together. This is one of the reasons why the United States has put South Africa under sanctions. So the relationship with Iran and the relationship with Hamas. And right now you are seeing the top general of South Africa in Iran and the department trying to distance themselves from his statements that the two countries share objectives. What exactly are they exchanging? What kind of cooperation between South African military and Iran military? You know that the Iran guys make a lot of drones. And these are suicide drones and all that kind of stuff. Is that the technology that they're buying? Those kind of things are being used in places like Ukraine. And that is why the Americans don't like it when you're friends with Iran. They take it as if you're now providing weapons to attack Ukraine. That is basically the short of it, or the basic summary of why this is a problem. The visit by General Ruzani Mapanya to Iran, which has angered even the people inside the South African government. They did not like the statement that he gave when he was over there. But soldiers, they tend to speak their mind and then they will think about it later. So they shoot first and ask questions later. Then in terms of unemployment, the unemployment rate of South Africa has gone up to 33.2% among the young people. 46.1% among young people, and overall 33.2%. And there's now calls for a grant, so everyone to be paid a grant, unemployment grant, anyone who's not working. Okay, and then obviously we have a serious issue at Jamestown, where the Home Affairs office was brought on fire, and there was a shooting at Maponyamo where an Uber driver has died. So Uber drivers are Zimbabweans, so check your relatives if the Uber driver who passed away is not a Zimbabwean. Then let's go to the newspapers. Today we're going to start with the Chronicle newspaper of Zimbabwe, and then I'll quickly bring this to an end. So Chronicle Zimbabwe is not published. Let's go to Herald Zimbabwe. Herald Zimbabwe has published. So what is Herald Zimbabwe saying? You know that Mnangagwa is going to be relinquishing his position at SADC. So within the next 2 days, Mnangagwa is expected to relinquish the position. The question is he going to go to Madagascar to hand over? So I don't know if he's going to hand over or not, but it is expected that the guy who is handing over, just like the president of Angola did, we expect Mnangagwa to hand over to the new chairman of SADC. So in terms of the news, let's address root cause of DRC conflict. President, that's Mnangagwa speaking to IAC, and the national hero Kuretu to be laid to rest today. I've already said this to you. And then this is Mdara Victor Kuretu. Here, you are going to hear more about him when Mnangagwa is speaking. And then this morning, Mnangagwa is going to be addressing the youths. The ZANU-PF youths are having the annual congress at the head office of ZANU. So I'm going to see that happening. Then I want to just bring you this young man, Inasem Chitutu, who saved young children from a raging fire. We've carried this story and it has gone viral across the whole country. He was given an award. Very good job. I hope they gave him some cash. You know that it's a small town. There are no jobs. I tried to get hold of the young man, but I could not get hold of him. We wanted to assist him to make something of his life. So if you know him, tell him to WhatsApp me on that number. Then we can deal with it. There is another young girl who has done the same thing in Mutare this week. Guys, fire is scary. Fire is hot. If you have never been in a fire, you don't understand. You can't even walk close to the fire. If you hear that someone has saved people from a fire, that person's body will be melting as they move towards the fire. It's extremely brave to get into a fire. So I like these young people who do this, who go to fires and save. So I don't know if the Harare Fire Brigade even knows that they can do something about this. Fire Brigade, they've even approached the boy to they come and join the Fire Brigade. And the young lady in Mutare must approach them. Those are the people you need in the Fire Brigade. Not these guys go in with there's no water. Okay. Right then, in Zambia, people want Lungu to be buried. Yes, I'm expecting a big ruling tomorrow where Lungu will be sent home and the burial will take place in Zambia. I don't see how the judges will even say the court will find differently. Another court will find differently. So my prediction is that it's going to end one way. Okay, University of the Teaching Hospital, what happened there? So let's see what happened at the University Teaching Hospital. Yeah, I think this is a local story, so I'm not going to read local stories. Let's go to our people very quickly. My favorite people. Let's start with Minnie. Minnie is at the top. She's posted today. What is she doing? Okay, I see her. She is doing very, very well. A story of women in the army. So Minnie has written a story, an article, and I want to share it with you, not in full, but I'll ask my guys to transcribe it. Then you are going to have it on our platforms. So here she says, as we celebrated Defense Forces Day yesterday, I reflected on the journey I traveled from the days of being a young military officer to the person I am today. And I am so grateful to the commanders who assisted to shape me to be where I am today. I'm also grateful to the organization for allowing us to prove our worth regarding less of gender. Attached is the extract from the Herald newspaper of 12 August 1992. 1998, where I featured on Women in the Army article. So this is meaning the first article of herself in 1998. So I'm going to ask our guys to transcribe it for you, and then we'll share what was she doing in the army in 1998. She was already in the army. That's amazing, amazing stuff. And then let's go to President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema, he joined the meeting with Mnangagwa, with IAC, as the outgoing chair of SADC. So you can check out the pictures there. President Hakainde Hichilema looking very good. I like President Hakainde Hichilema. This room is one of the best rooms ever. Amazing stuff. I like it. And then let's go to Madam Boss. Today I'm going in order. Madam Boss, I hate this old lady. Please don't torture me. Every time I see that old lady, I feel so bad. And then she's still in the UK, and she's doing a great job over there. And then let's look at President Dumaboko. President Dumaboko, he spoke in Cape Town. I was there. That was amazing. The best president ever. Unfortunately, SABC did cut his presentation, so I wasn't able to share it with you. And that is crazy. I cannot believe it. When I got home, I found out they only did a short portion. So I tried to find the video of President Dumaboko speaking. He was still speaking about the desert, and then boom, there was nothing. I was shocked. And then President Fadzi, 2028. Good morning, 5 a.m. club. When you see people accomplish what you didn't think was possible, it's an invitation to re-examination. Re-examine the limitations you are imposing on yourself, not an opportunity to poke holes in the legitimacy of their breakthrough. Ngatauri neshona. Ukaona munhu achibudirira, nyatsofungisisa kuti iwewe zvauri kushoropodza. Shona is so bad. President Fadzi, maybe you must do it also in Shona. That would be amazing. So, but I tried my best. My Shona is not so good. I speak exactly 2 words of Shona a day, and that is here because I've been colonized. So I was colonized by the children. My children are South African, so I was colonized by my children. Let's look at what has happened to SADC. So SADC is published here. The US ambassador of Madagascar was at SADC. So I want to unpack this later on today. We're going to give you detail of what the US ambassador of Madagascar was saying at the SADC meeting. Very, very important. I always follow the ambassadors when I get an opportunity. So I think we've covered everything. This morning summary is for the purpose for you to go home, to go to work knowing what's going on and what is important. So what is important today? Tagwirei has moved around with the military and was able to do so without any problems. Maloti has been arrested for fighting with Passion Java. Natalie Mandu has been released, and Zinatha has refused to testify, and she has also deleted the videos of her performing rituals, which they could not retrieve. The South African chief of the army is under fire after he revealed that South Africa has got the same strategic objectives as Iran, and the South African government and South Africa in general are having a 1 billion rand dialogue over 2 days, starting today and tomorrow. And ZANU-PF youths are having the annual congress where they are going to be talking about the next step, what happens next in Zimbabwe. So ZANU-PF youths have got no capacity to become leaders of the future. Don't allow them to take over. They are going to just shout, Idi Wuchi, Idi Wuchi, Waka Broker, Idi Wuchi Waka Broker, Todam Dara Geza, Anugu Geza Mese. I think I've covered everything. I really appreciate this, and I would like to bring this to an end. Let's look quickly at the comments. America can't be choosing friends for other countries. Yes, America is like your father, and you're his son. If you don't work with Americans, you're no one on earth. Komodi ku employer mu journalist panokupedza mari kudaro. What happened in King Vegas? What did I do? Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Which, why don't I not fly? Okay, let me tell you what my job is. I am an analyst, so I see things that you don't see, and I talk to people that you can't talk to. So you saw me talking to the Attorney General of Zambia. Do you think if some unknown person approached the Attorney General of Zambia, they would talk to him? So I've got certain relationships, and if I walk into the judge's office, they will allow me to walk in there. Mnangagwa, today we're going to write me a letter. Do you think my journalist will write a letter to Mnangagwa or will be afraid? We're going to write a letter to the army. Yesterday we wrote a letter to Chamisa. We've invited Advocate Fadzi to become a presidential candidate. So Gambakwe is not a journalist. Gambakwe is a media company owner. I'm at the level in Pamsoro, Pema journalist. Yeah, in fact, Pamsoro Pema minister. Nobana Gambakwe. One of Pisa, Semoto. So if I don't go, it will be fine. I'll save 5,000. But then you get a poor experience. So if I go into the dialogue, you're going to see what is going to happen. I'm going to go and sit next to President Thabo Mbeki and ask him a question without fear. When the dialogue starts in Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa is going to invite me, and you're going to see me talking to Mnangagwa as if we know each other from Bikita. If I phone Mnangagwa, he's going to pick. He knows good Munaru phone on. Asokutamba. There's no one in Zimbabwe who doesn't pick my call because they basically know that this guy is on top of the situation. That is crazy. Then Mkoma Peter said, Starlink is not expensive because those corrupt companies in Zimbabwe have added 250 on top as activation fee. I've got my Starlink, I bought it online. They didn't add anything on me. I don't know why they're adding on you. I've got a number of Starlinks, actually. So I don't know why they're adding. So let me know, Mkoma. Gambakwe, you make me sick. Apana Bura. I make you sick, Roslyn. If you're a girl and I make you sick, and that uno guess because most girls like me. I'm the what do you call the ideal man for most Zimbabwean girls. They like a guy like me, hardworking, but muscular. I know Mube. I know Mube. Mube is the one. So I think let's go to our sponsor. Please support our sponsor Mube. If you take this, look at the benefits on the left. No more 1 liter. And then for girls, fibroids, fertility, fair skin, hair growth, and if you got period pains, I know apeared one, but unombeta mamanzi kuti unosha utamana chi because it takes out and clears out like crazy. So girls have told me that There's nothing that treats fibroids more than this thing. And we give you a 2 months course. If you're in the UK, you just buy once, we give you a course for 2 months. And similarly, we deliver across the world. South Africa, by Uber, if you're in Johannesburg. I would like to thank all of you for watching. And I really enjoyed this. I'll see you again a bit later. So I've heard a message about Apostle Natalie Mhandu, that his health has deteriorated over the past few days or hours. So I'm still trying to find out what has happened to Apostle Natalie Mhandu. So if anyone knows, WhatsApp me within the next few minutes, because I don't know what has happened to Apostle Natalie Mhandu. Something has happened to him, and we need to understand what is the situation. So if you know, WhatsApp me on that number. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and a good day to you.